New ideas are not only the enemies of old ones, they also appear often in an extremely unacceptable form. Everyone is in love with his own ideas. The individual disposition is already a factor in childhood. It is innate and not acquired in the course of a life. Criticism can be effective when there is something that must be destroyed or dissolved, but it is capable only of harm when there is something to be built. All the most powerful ideas in history go back to archetypes. There is no birth of consciousness without pain. In the history of the collective as in the history of the individual, everything depends on the development of consciousness. Neurosis is the natural byproduct of pain avoidance. Neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. The man who speaks with primordial images speaks with 1,000 tongues. Music is the application of sounds to the canvas of silence. The unexpected and the incredible belong in this world. Only then is life whole. Science has destroyed even the refuge of the inner life. What was once a sheltering haven has become a place of terror. No psychic value can disappear without being replaced by another of equivalent intensity. Words are animals, alive with a will of their own. The psychopathology of the masses is rooted in the psychology of the individual. Our intellect has created a new world that dominates nature and has populated it with monstrous machines. An understanding heart is everything in a teacher and cannot be esteemed highly enough. The collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution born anew in the brain structure of every individual. You can exert no influence if you are not susceptible to influence. The more intelligent and cultured a man is, the more subtly he can humbug himself. It is sad but unfortunately true that man learns nothing from history. The symbol in the dream has more the value of a parable. It does not conceal, it teaches. Active imagination requires a state of reverie, halfway between sleep and waking. Dreams are the facts from which we must proceed. The longing for light is the longing for consciousness. In each of us there is another whom we do not know. Eternal truth needs a human language that alters with the spirit of the times. Dreaming is a phylogenetically older mode of thought. What usually has the strongest psychic effect on the child is the life which the parents have not lived. Neurosis is an inner cleavage, the state of being at war with oneself. A dream that is not understood remains a mere occurrence. Understood, it becomes a living experience. All the works of man have their origin in creative fantasy. What right have we then to depreciate imagination? To confront a person with their own shadow is to show them their own light. Our unconscious is the key to our life's pursuits. The world of gods and spirits is truly nothing but the collective unconscious inside me. Simple things are always the most difficult. Wherever an inferiority complex exists, there is a good reason for it. Imagination is a concentrated extract of all the forces of life. People learn from who we are, rather than what we say, and to believe otherwise is a disease of the mind. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Only the wounded physician heals. A mandala is the psychological expression of the totality of the self. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The primary cause of unhappiness in the world today is lack of faith. The pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. It is on the whole probably that we continually dream, but that consciousness makes such a noise that we do not hear it. The unconscious mind of man sees correctly even when conscious reason is blind and impotent. One of the main functions of formalized religion is to protect people against the direct experience of God. The angel personifies something new arising from the deep unconscious. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Learn your techniques well and be prepared to let them go when you touch the human soul. Summoned or not, the God will come. Without freedom there can be no morality. To the critical intelligence, nothing is left of absolute reality. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. Even a lie is a psychic fact. What we do not make conscious emerges later as fate. The judgment of the intellect is, at best, only the half of truth. Even if the whole world were to fall to pieces, the unity of the psyche would never be shattered. In fact, the whole of mythology could be taken as a sort of projection of the collective unconscious. Your vision will be clearer only when you manage to see within your heart. For the alchemist, the one primarily in need of redemption is not man, but the deity who is lost and sleeping in matter. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books but lives in our very blood. Not nature, but the genius of mankind, has knotted the hangman's noose with which it can execute itself at any moment.